All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to peel back the curtain on professional fundraising. We're moving past all the stereotypes to look at the actual strategy, the management, and the ethics that really drive philanthropy forward. Let's get to it. So I'm sure you've heard something like this before, right? There's this common idea out there that fundraising is, a necessary evil at best, or at worst, some kind of shady, manipulative game. This phrase, a dance of deceit, really sums up that cynical view. But is that what's really going on? Well, according to the pros, the people who literally teach this stuff at the fundraising school, it's a completely different picture. For them, it is a management process. And those keywords there tell the real story: process, purposes, and public good. This isn't about trickery. It's a structured, professional discipline, and it's all designed to serve a mission. That's the big idea we're digging into today. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the absolute foundation of it all, the case for giving. Then, we'll unpack the engine that drives everything, the fundraising cycle. We'll explore a key strategy with the donor pyramid, meet the actual people who make it happen, and finally, we'll see how success is really measured. Okay, so first things first. Before you can even think about asking for a single dollar, a nonprofit has to answer the most critical question of all. Why should anyone give to us? The answer to that question is what professionals call the case for giving. It's the logical and the emotional bedrock for the entire operation. So how do you build one of these? Well, it all starts with a powerful mission that follows a really clear logic. You kick things off with your core beliefs, what you stand for. Then you clearly identify the problem or the need that you're addressing. After that, you lay out the solutions, what needs to be done. And finally, you state with confidence that your organization is the one to get it done. It's a simple but incredibly powerful four-step argument. And that mission statement, that's really just the tip of the iceberg. A truly complete case is this whole portfolio that proves you're credible. It's not just about your lofty goals. It's about being totally transparent. Who's on your board? What do your finances look like? What's your track record? All of these pieces come together to tell a full story of need, competence, and most importantly, impact. All right, so you've got this solid case for why people should give. What's next? How does the work actually get done? For that, we need to look at the engine of the operation, the fundraising cycle. This is the strategic process that keeps everything moving. And the key word here, the thing you absolutely have to remember, is that it's a cycle. This is not a straight line that just ends when a donation comes in. The goal is not a transaction. The goal is to build a continuous, trusting relationship with people who believe in what you're doing. So, this whole cycle breaks down into 3 key phases. First up, you've got planning. You're looking at your case, you're analyzing the market. Then you move into action, getting volunteers involved and, yes, asking for the gift. But it does not stop there. The final and arguably most important phase is stewardship, showing that you use that gift responsibly, which earns you the trust to ask for the next one. And then, the cycle starts all over again. Okay, let's peel back another layer of the strategy here. Professionals know that not all donations and not all donors are the same. They use different approaches for different levels of giving, and the best way to visualize this is something called the donor pyramid. The pyramid is such a brilliant way to visualize this long-term game. The whole idea is you start with a really wide base of first-time donors, and then, over time, you build deeper and deeper relationships with them. You help them climb that pyramid toward making bigger, more transformative gifts that really line up with their passions. And this is where it gets really interesting, when you look at the bottom of the pyramid versus the very top. That broad base at the bottom, that's your annual fund. These are the gifts that keep the lights on and support day-to-day programs. But the peak, that's a capital campaign. These are the huge, major gifts that fund big-ticket items like a new building. See? Different goals, completely different strategies, but they're all part of the same big picture. And you better believe this takes some serious planning. If you want to reach a big goal, say $500,000, you can't just cross your fingers and hope for the best. A professional fundraiser creates a detailed gift range chart, and it maps out exactly how many gifts they need at every single level, from that one huge gift at the top all the way down to the hundreds of smaller ones to hit that final number. Okay, so we've got the case, the cycle, the strategy, but who's actually doing all this heavy lifting? That brings us to the team. There's this common myth that it's all on one person, the fundraiser, but the reality couldn't be more different. It's a total team sport. The core team, we're talking about the heavy hitters here. It's the CEO, the chair of the board, the CFO. They are all deeply involved, which proves that fundraising isn't some side project. It's absolutely central to the organization's mission. It's a real management function.
And listen, we absolutely cannot forget the volunteers. They are not just there to stuff envelopes. They are strategic partners. They're out there as passionate, believable advocates, and they often have connections into donor networks that the staff could only dream of. And, this is so important, they also help ask for gifts and make their own gifts, which shows everyone they truly believe in the mission.
All right, let's get to the final piece of the puzzle, the real bottom line. With all this strategy and teamwork, how do you know if you're actually succeeding? I mean, it seems obvious, right? Just count the money. Well, for a professional, it's way more nuanced than that.
But real success, true success, is measured by something deeper. It's about efficiency, and it's about integrity. Are you raising money in a cost-effective way? Are you doing it ethically? And maybe most importantly, are you building real, lasting trust with your donors and your community? Those are the KPIs that truly matter.
Just take a look at this. This is a perfect example of the analytical side of the job. You can see right away that the cost to raise a dollar is wildly different depending on how you do it. Sending a renewal letter by mail costs about 22 cents on the dollar, but securing a major gift from an individual, that only costs 11 cents. This kind of data is what lets organizations make really smart strategic decisions.
So when you crunch all the numbers for this whole program, what you get? The average cost to raise one single dollar was just 15 cents. I mean, think about that. That is incredibly efficient. It's a number that completely shatters that myth of wasteful fundraising and shows you the power of a well-run professional operation. And really, that brings us right back to the heart of this whole thing. This quote from Henry Rosso, the guy who founded the fundraising school, just says it all. Fundraising isn't the master, it's the servant. It exists for one reason and one reason only: to make philanthropy possible, that voluntary action for the common good. So, now that you've seen the process, the strategy, the ethics behind it all, I want to leave you with this question. What matters most to you when you give? Is it the mission itself? Is it the financial efficiency? Or is it that relationship you have with the organization? Because understanding how the process works, well, that empowers you to be a smarter, more effective philanthropist.